3 weeks after that night, Miguel Santos still refused to drive anywhere near Balete Drive. He had changed his delivery routes, even if it meant losing money. But the whispers never stopped. Every night while driving through Manila, his radio would crackle with static. And sometimes, very faintly, he heard her voice. "You passed my house." At first, Miguel tried to ignore it. But something strange began happening. His GPS would glitch, even when he was nowhere near Balete Drive. The map would suddenly reroute him, always pointing to the same location, Balete Drive. One rainy night at 2 a.m., Miguel was driving near Quezon Avenue when his radio suddenly burst into static again. Louder than ever before, the dashboard lights flickered. Then the GPS screen changed by itself. A red pin appeared. Balete Drive. Miguel's stomach twisted. No, not again. He grabbed the steering wheel tightly and turned away from the direction. But the engine sputtered. The van slowed, then died, right beside a dark street. Miguel looked up slowly. The street sign stood under a flickering lamp. Balete Drive. Rain fell softly through the massive Balete trees. The road looked even darker than before. Miguel tried starting the engine again. Nothing. Then the passenger seatbelt slowly pulled tight. Click. Miguel froze. Cold air filled the van again, and he heard breathing beside him. "You came back," the voice whispered. Miguel didn't turn his head. "I didn't mean to," he said, his voice shaking. Silence. Then the van door slowly opened. Miguel looked. The woman stood outside now, her white dress soaked with rain, hair hanging over her face. She pointed across the street to a massive abandoned house hidden behind the trees. Broken windows, crumbling walls, and a rusted gate. My house. Miguel had never noticed that house before, but somehow it felt familiar, like he should know it. "Why are you showing me this?" he asked. The woman slowly lifted her head. This time, Miguel saw more of her face. Pale skin, dark hollow eyes, and a deep scar across her neck. "Because you left me." Miguel's heart slammed against his chest. "What? You passed my house." She stepped closer. "The night I died." Miguel's mind raced. He had driven Balete Drive hundreds of times. But then a memory surfaced. About a year ago, late at night, heavy rain, a figure on the road. Miguel had been tired, distracted. He remembered swerving, hearing a thud. But when he stopped to check, the road was empty. No body, no blood, nothing. He convinced himself it had been a stray dog. But now, the ghost stepped closer. "You left me there," Miguel whispered, horrified. "I didn't know." The woman's neck twisted slowly. Her smile widened. "Now you do." Suddenly, all the lights on Balete Drive went out. Total darkness. Miguel's van door slammed shut. The engine roared back to life by itself. The steering wheel jerked in his hands, turning, driving straight toward the abandoned house. Miguel tried to brake. Nothing worked. The van smashed through the rusted gate. Crash. It stopped just a few meters from the front door. The radio turned on again, but this time, many voices whispered through the static. "Don't leave, stay with us. You passed our houses." Miguel slowly looked in the rearview mirror. His blood ran cold because the back seat of the van was no longer empty. 3 pale figures sat there, all with broken necks, all staring at him. The woman leaned close to Miguel's ear and whispered, "Now you know where we live." The engine turned off, the doors locked, and the lights on Balete Drive came back on. But the van never moved again. Some taxi drivers in Manila still talk about an abandoned van rusting behind an old house on Balete Drive. They say if you drive past it after 2 a.m., your radio might turn on, and through the static, a tired man's voice sometimes whispers, "Don't stop here. Just keep driving, because something inside the van is still waiting for another passenger." For months, people whispered about the abandoned van behind the broken gate on Balete Drive. No one knew how it got there. No one claimed it. But the story spread among taxi drivers and delivery riders across Manila. Don't stop near the old house after 2 a.m. because sometimes the van's headlights turn on by themselves. Detective Adrian Velasco from the Philippine National Police didn't believe in ghost stories. He believed in evidence, and the evidence pointed to a missing man. Miguel Santos, delivery driver. Van found, driver missing. No blood, no struggle, no explanation. Adrian had heard the rumors, of course. The Balete Drive ghost, the white lady. But to him, that was just Manila folklore. Still, he couldn't ignore one strange detail. Miguel's phone had been recovered from the van, and the last voice recording was disturbing. Adrian played it again in his office. At first, there was only static. Then Miguel's shaky voice. Someone S in the van, then another voice. Soft, broken, "You passed my house," then screaming. Then silence. 3 nights later, Adrian stood outside the rusted gate on Balete Drive. It was past 2 a.m. The street was empty. Balete trees stretched over the road like giant claws. The old house behind the gate looked like it had been rotting for decades. And behind it, the van. Adrian sighed. "Just another urban legend," he muttered. He stepped over the broken gate. The gravel crunched beneath his shoes. The van door creaked open easily. Inside, everything looked normal. Dust, empty seats, Miguel's old delivery crates. Adrian turned on his flashlight. Then something strange happened. The van door slammed shut behind him. Bang. The engine started. Adrian's eyes widened. "What the?" The radio exploded with static, and a whisper crawled through the speakers. "Another passenger, cold air flooded the van. Adrian slowly turned his head. The passenger seat beside him was no longer empty. The woman sat there, white dress, long black hair, her neck bent at a terrible angle. Adrian grabbed his gun instantly. "Don't move." The woman didn't react. She slowly raised her head. Her hollow eyes stared directly into his. "You came to my house." Adrian's voice trembled despite himself. "You're not real." Her smile widened. "They all say that." Then something moved in the back seat. Adrian looked in the rearview mirror, and his blood froze. Miguel was sitting there, pale, lifeless, eyes wide open. And beside him, 3 other figures, more passengers, all silent, all staring. "He didn't want to stay," the woman whispered. "But no one leaves after they pass my house." The van suddenly lurched forward, driving, but no one was touching the steering wheel. Adrian tried to open the door. Locked. The van rolled out of the broken gate and onto Balete Drive. But something was wrong. The street outside looked different, darker, empty. The houses were gone. The city lights were gone. Only endless Balete trees surrounded the road now, like a forest of shadows. The woman leaned close to Adrian, her voice colder than the night. "This road doesn't lead back to Manila." The passengers behind him slowly began whispering. "Stay, stay, stay," Adrian screamed and fired his gun. The sound echoed uselessly inside the van. The woman only smiled wider. Then she pointed ahead. At the end of the road stood the same abandoned house, but bigger, endless, like a mansion made of darkness. "Our house." The van stopped. The doors unlocked. The passengers began to stand, one by one. Miguel reached forward and grabbed Adrian's shoulder. His grip felt like ice. "You passed our house too." The radio went silent. The headlights turned off, and Balete Drive became quiet again. The next morning, the people of Manila woke up to strange news. Detective Adrian Velasco had disappeared. His police car was found parked near Balete Drive. Inside the car, his radio was still on. But the officers who found it said something unsettling, because through the static, they heard many voices whispering, and one new voice among them, a man begging quietly, "Don't stop here, just keep driving." But sometimes, when taxis pass Balete Drive after 2 a.m., they see a van parked beside the road, its door slightly open, and if a driver is unlucky enough to stop, they might hear a soft voice from the passenger seat. "Can you take me home?"